Hey, what is up, guys? So, as you know, Christmas is around the corner, and it is a very difficult time for a lot of people to be able to kind of stay on track, working towards their health, fitness goals. Um, if you're still kind of want to lose weight, drop body fat, and stuff like that, again, this is a time of year where you really need to be, I suppose, consciously aware of your surroundings, what's happening, parties, all that kind of stuff. So that's why today I wanted to run through this ultimate Christmas guide to help you stay on track, make you more consciously aware of what you're kind of doing day to day, week on week, over these next few weeks leading up into Christmas. So first of all, to kick off, what we want to do is just kind of reflect on the previous year and asking yourself, are you at a place that you really want to be right now? Even kind of reflecting on last Christmas, where were you going into Christmas and where were you coming out of it? Were you someone that said, you know what, I want to try and stay on track, I want to try and eat healthy, I want to try and move a bit more, but because of all the Christmas parties and drinking and family get-togethers and stuff like that, the whole thing just went out the window and you moved into the new year after gaining an extra 5, 10 kilos, whatever it may be? Or are you someone that managed to kind of stay on track? You kind of had a bit of a system in place for yourself and you were able to kind of keep yourself motivated moving forward. So this is something we really want to kind of reflect on first right now, because when we reflect on our previous year, it's a lot easier to say, do you know what, these are the changes I need to make. This is what I need to do in order to help me progress and move forward. So let's dive straight into it. So what kind of usually happens for you over Christmas? Obviously, there's going to be staff parties with work. There's going to be nights out with friends. There's going to be catching up with family. And all of these kind of things revolve around eating and drinking. And as we know, the more we eat, the more we drink, kind of the less motivation that we have then the following days to actually do something and get ourselves back on track. Now, I'm not saying we need to be giving up all this stuff, but it's more about being consciously aware and kind of creating this right balance for ourselves moving forward now over these next few weeks. Now, what we need to ask ourselves right now is, what do you want to happen this Christmas for you? Now, again, this is completely up to you. You can just give up everything you're doing right now, go out, constantly enjoy yourself, constantly go eating, drinking, and be one of those people that will put on those extra 5 to 10 kg. But then you just got to ask yourself, how will you feel then moving into the new year? Or you can ask yourself, what do you want to happen for you in terms of, do you want to still kind of stick to that fitness routine, still sticking to getting your steps in, going for runs, making healthier choices when possible? So the choice is kind of completely up to you, but it's about being consciously aware about these things. Now, we know that some of the problems with Christmas is, it's basically the eating and drinking. That's all it kind of really comes down to. So when we want to look at that, we want to kind of create a bit of a system for ourselves that we know how to not, I suppose, overeat, overdrink. And if we are going to have those big nights out, that we are counterbalancing it with some exercise, more movement and stuff like that. So as we said, we know that there's going to be non-stop parties, food and drink. And of course, while you're out and about as well, when you're going to friends' houses or when there's people come to your houses, generally what happens as well, people will bring cakes, biscuits, a box of roses. So I suppose for you, it's about being able to say no. Now, of course, if you're on this kind of health journey yourself, you know you want to lose weight, you know you want to get to where you want to be, then you need to be mentally strong as well. You need to be willing to say no to these things that you know overall is going to actually start setting you backwards. And you know you're going to have to work your ass off then to start working off all these things that you're going to be piling into you. Yes, having one or two things here and there isn't going to throw you completely off, but knowing when to stop. Because I know for me personally, when I dive into something, then I'll keep going, like. So that's where kind of moderation kind of goes out the window, especially for me. If someone opens up a tin of biscuits and I have one, I kind of get that bit of a taste for it and I go, ooh, I'll have another one, I'll have another one, I'll have another one. So it's about being mentally strong, that if you are going to have something, being willing and being able to actually stop yourself. Because again, we know that all these kind of smaller things, they don't fill you up, but they are absolutely loaded in calories and they are going to put you backwards further and further the more that you eat. So anytime you kind of look at having something, or if that's drinks, food, snacks, whatever it is, try not to go with the all or nothing approach. Whereas you're not going to go, do you know what? I've had one, feck it, you know what? I'm going to have another 5 or 6, because again, it just leads back to the piling on the calories. You've got to think about as well, if you've been training now for the last few months or so, or even longer, just think about how hard you work when you are training to burn off those excess calories, and how fast you can consume it just like that by banging a load of roses into you, or biscuits, or whatever it may be. So again, it just comes back to trying to have that bit of moderation for yourself. And when we kind of look towards the end of the year, we want to ask ourselves, how do we really want to feel? How do we want to feel moving into that new year? Do we want to feel completely sluggish, feel like we've kind of completely gone backwards, feeling heavier than we did coming into Christmas? Because it will affect you emotionally and mentally. And of course, as well, it's going to affect your drive, your energy levels, and even probably your motivation, because you might go into the new year up an extra 5-10 kilos thinking, fuck, you know what? I'm after completely blowing myself all out of the water here. I've gone completely backwards. What's the point in even actually moving forward again? So you just need to ask yourself, do you want to feel frustrated, or do you want to actually take hold of this Christmas and know that you're in a really good place? You can still enjoy yourself and come out the other end feeling fantastic. And that should be the goal of this Christmas for yourself. And like I said there, if you do end up piling on a lot of weight, like, how is it going to make you feel knowing you've gone completely backwards going into the new year? Of course, we don't want this to be you. We want you to be in a really good place, setting up a good routine for yourself over these next few weeks. So there's two ways Christmas can go for you. Now, the first one is we basically just hit the fuck it button. And that basically means that we just go all out. We have a box of roses, we open one and we dive right to the bottom of the box and we finish the whole thing. Or we're going out for pints 5-6 nights a week, and we're just kind of throwing all those calories into us, ongoing, non-stop. We're going to as many parties as we can. We're overeating when we can. So that's basically hitting the fuck it button. And you just need to ask yourself, do you want to hit the fuck it button and go all out, or do you actually want to kind of create a bit of a system for yourself? So that's why we kind of put this kind of few bits and pieces together to help you progress, move forward, enjoy your Christmas, and still come out the other end feeling fantastic. So when we're out and about, when we're doing things, I suppose it's about focusing on not revolving everything, I suppose, around drinking and eating, trying to doing things that are going to get us more active, where it's kind of doing different games, getting out for walks, spending time with friends and family away from food and drink and stuff like that. Because that's generally what the whole Christmas revolves around, is eating and drinking. So we need to try and find other things that we can actually do for ourselves. So like I said, whether it's going to be could be playing party games, could be getting out, going to a park, going for a walk, could be finding other activities that you can be doing as well with friends and family and stuff like that. And when you're not partying, or if you're not at friend's house, what you want to do is you want to try and focus on making good food choices for yourself. So just the fact that you went up to a friend's house and you had a big feast and stuff like that, or whatever, and you picked at a few biscuits and stuff, when you come back home, you don't want to be continuing that pattern of overeating, of eating shitty foods and stuff like that. We want to be focusing on clean, lean, healthy foods, because we know that if we have one blowout during the day, we can always try and offset that by moving a bit more and eating less calorie foods then throughout the rest of the day. So then as well, on top of that, like I was talking about the sweets and the biscuits and all that kind of stuff, that we know that when you're probably a lot of places in work as well, they're going to have biscuit tins put out, and boxes of roses and other kind of chocolates and stuff like that. Like I know in the gym every year, they put up a box of roses on the reception, and within a day, they're all gone. So it's just about, again, being mindful that you're not one of these people that are constantly, every time you walk past a box of chocolates or roses or whatever it's going to be, that you're not popping your hand into it and devouring them. Because I guarantee for a lot of people, they'll be doing that and they won't even be recognizing they're doing it. They'll just constantly keep tipping away, piling all those extra sweets and sugars and all these biscuits and all that kind of crap into you. So it's about going, put them away and avoid the chocolate biscuits and all that kind of stuff. Also as well, I suppose, knowing your limits, knowing when to stop yourself. That goes for, I suppose, eating, drinking, all that kind of stuff. So when you're kind of looking to, I suppose, have your food, have your drinks, all that kind of stuff, to knowing when to stop as well. Again, comes back to that whole biscuit tin or the box of roses, that you're not going to start with one and devour the whole lot, and keep yourself and keep stuffing your face with all these different things that you know is going to put you backwards from where you actually really want to be. Next thing then, increase activity. Of course, the more we eat, the more we need to move in order to offset that energy balance and burn off those calories that we're actually having. So moving more, being really, I suppose, consciously aware of how much you're moving. Because again, I know over the Christmas period, especially if you're having nights out with drinks and stuff like that, you can be less motivated as well the next day and stuff. So it's going to be really important that you do stay on top of your activity, because you can overeat, but as long as you keep up your activity, you can burn it off as well. So you just got to remember that. So whether it's going to be getting out for a walk every day, aiming to not even hit 10,000 steps, but even 15,000 steps. So 10,000 steps is roughly around 500 calories. 1,500 or 15,000 steps, obviously then it's going to be 750 calories. So that can be huge for you if you really commit to getting out and getting for those walks every day. Even when you're with your family, friends, whatever, doing stuff that's going to be active. Again, getting out, bringing the kids to the park, doing whatever it is. I doubt we're going to get much snow here, but snowball fights, that would be good. But anyway, it's really just about getting out and just looking for different things you could be doing to keep yourself active. Possible as well, getting to the gym. Ideally, getting your 2 to 3 sessions in each and every week. We know that the more you're moving, the more offset you're going to have yourself of all the extra foods that you're going to have over that Christmas period. So yeah, committing to your 2 to 3 sessions a week, getting all those steps in, it will have a massive impact for you over these next few weeks. And especially as well, if you're going to be having a couple of weeks off work, then you're going to have that extra bit of time to be able to actually get out and do these things. So you just got to really commit yourself to doing that. Avoiding to be on the couch as much as possible. If we're sitting on the couch, we're not moving. So again, if you're having a big feed, having a lash of drinks and stuff like that, you're sitting down on the couch, probably going to feel tired and falling asleep. We're not going to be moving much at all. You're better off, if you're going to have a big feed or whatever, then just get out and go for a walk after it. Again, it's going to help with your digestion. You're going to feel a lot better because you won't be as bloated if you can get out for a long walk after a big feed. As I was saying a while ago about the food. So again, getting healthy food in when we can, for days that we know we're not going to parties or we're not having anything on or anything like that. Just stick to your proper eating habits, your eating routine, because it will help you over this next few weeks. Because if we start to have pigging into a load of kind of crap food and we leave that to pile on day after day, you know the weight's going to come on as well on top of that. So it's really important that you are again consciously aware of the foods that you're having outside of getting together with friends, family, and all that kind of stuff. And ideally as well, aim to get at least 2 good, nutritious, healthy meals in each day. Also as well, if you know you're going to have a big, huge feast and a load of food and a load of drink and stuff like that, you know you're going to be piling a lot of calories into you. So you could also even skip a meal, and that can save you a few hundred calories as well, on top of getting your walk and your exercise and all that kind of stuff. So you can offset a lot of this stuff as long as you are prepared for it and you make a plan for yourself each and every week. Hydration is going to be another key one. So getting 2 to 3 liters of water into you as well. You can be dehydrated from all the high salty food, the processed foods, and again from all the drinking and stuff like that. If you are drinking a lot, you can be fairly dehydrated. So making sure plenty of water into you each and every day. Then Christmas Day, do you know what? Enjoy yourself. Have whatever the hell you want. Make it all about your family, friends, or whatever that you're going to do for that Christmas Day. Eat the food, have your drinks, enjoy those half a box of roses, whatever it's going to be. At the end of the day, in order to put on 1 kilo of body fat, you need to consume an additional 7,000 calories on top of your maintenance phase. So if your maintenance phase was say 2,000 calories a day, if that's what you burnt a day, so in order for you to put on 1 kilo just for that one day, you'd have to actually consume 9,000 calories. So one day going all out isn't going to set you back too much. It's the continuous days of doing that is what's going to completely knock you backwards. So Christmas Day, enjoy yourself, get out, make it all about friends, family, and all that kind of stuff. If you have big nights out, stuff like that, try get yourself moving the next day. I suppose kind of restrict yourself from not just getting back on the sauce the next day if you're feeling like crap or whatever, or not waking up the next day again, tucking into the boxes of biscuits and all this kind of stuff. Whatever way you feel the next day, get up, get out, get moving. If you're like me, you'll probably go out and have an old cold shower, which I don't think too many people are going to do that. But if you do, you will definitely feel fantastic straight after that. So yeah, don't overdo it, just get out. Or if you do overdo it, all good, get up the next day, get out, get yourself moving, shake it off, and try and enjoy your day as much as you can. And again, like if you're not planning ahead, then things won't get done. So if you're just kind of leaving it to last minute, you're not going to eat healthier, you're not going to make better choices. But if you are mentally prepared, or even if you write stuff down, or if you say, do you know what, this day I'm going to eat this, these are the days I'm going to get to the gym, this is the times I'm going to go for my walks and stuff, it'll help you so much more if you can actually plan it out and help you stay on track. So being mindful. So this is obviously going to come back to being mindful of how much food you're having, how much drinks you're having, how often you're having snacks, being mindful of your exercise and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is about enjoying yourself. So get out, have fun, enjoy it, but obviously as well, try not to overdo it too much. Because obviously the self-sabotage is when you get absolutely hammered or completely overdo with the food, and then you let that drag on day after day after day over these next few weeks. So aiming to choose healthier options or better options when possible, whether that's instead of having a pint of Guinness, maybe having like a gin and tonic or something like that, something that's going to be less in calories, or making sure that as well that whatever foods that you are having, that try and get plenty of veg in with it. And coming back to the veg part, having high volume, low calorie foods. Again, that's going to be all your salads, your veg and stuff like that. It can be foods that can fill you up, but there's not going to be so many calories related to it. So anytime you're having a big meal, try fill at least half your plate with your veg or salad and stuff. It will massively make a difference as well. And at the end of the day, you are in charge of what goes in your mouth. So it's completely up to you to make these choices for yourself. It's completely up to you what you're going to consume each and every day. So again, that's going to come back to your food and your drink and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, food and drink isn't going anywhere. So don't feel like you have to devour absolutely everything in the one go. And also as well, like when you are going to have a big feast and stuff like that, try get out and do your exercise before it. Try get the body moving, that you're not going in there rested, having a big feed, and then just having it all sit there in your stomach and stuff like that. So that's what it's really going to take, following some simple, I suppose, just some simple steps over these next couple of weeks, because that's what's going to allow you to move into the new year feeling more energized, could even possibly be dropping body fat still and losing weight. But and most importantly, you're going to be keeping up that routine. When you keep up a routine, once you hit that new year, it's so much easier to maintain it moving forward. Whereas if you start to drop off now and you start to make, I suppose, not the best choices, you start to have one day lead into the other, where you have a big night out, load of food, and the next day, big drinking all day, lots more food. And that falls into one day after another. You're going to lose motivation. You're not going to start moving as much. You're not going to get to the gym. You're not going to get out and get your steps in. And that's going to, I suppose, set you so far backwards. Whereas you can still go out and enjoy yourself. You can have your few drinks. You can still have all your food and stuff like that. But as long as you plan, like I was talking about earlier, you put that plan in place, knowing when you're going to get out for your walks, knowing when you're going to have your healthier meals, knowing when you're going to skip a meal because you know you're going to have a bigger meal later on. And once you start putting all these things in place for yourself, it's going to be so much easier to make sure that you do not go backwards over these next few weeks going into Christmas. So last thing I wanted to ask you is, what kind of stands out for you the most? This is where you want to kind of reflect on yourself. And even from that very first question that we started off with, how was the last year looking for you? Kind of what kind of stood out for you the most there? What changes do you feel you need to make, reflecting on last Christmas? And even just write down the things that you're going to commit to yourself doing right now from here till the new year. And I suppose once you do that, once it's down on paper, it's so much easier then to commit yourself to actually doing it. And then it's just about following through and just making it happen. So guys, hopefully you got something of value from this anyway. But again, enjoy the whole Christmas period, and I'll catch you all soon.